Hello, buddy. Glitchup here, aka the original card game for the win. A little bit of news before I start on this Friday's thing. A little bit of something extra has kind of popped up. They've rotated out Quick Draft of the 2020 set, and now it's Quick Draft of Ikoria, so you have an additional option when it comes to doing draft. And it is less expensive than the previous Ikoria drafts because this one, in terms of like starting it up, you only need about 5,000 gold. So if you're doing it off quests, this is kind of the quicker paced option. I mean, it's still going to be like stupid chaotic in terms of whether or not you're going to get enough to possibly get a couple more packs off gems and then get the additional thing. But hey, at least you can get the your guaranteed one a bit quicker with 5,000. So it's just kind of a thing to say before I get into there. And I had done a couple of those. I don't know if I'm going to do another one on camera or not, but what I want to do now is something that kind of has a little bit of a history for me. Because the Friday Night Magic at home right now is Paupers. And I originally found out about Paupers style whenever they had like some pre-holiday events. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, actually. Was this even around the year before? I don't remember exactly, but either way, over the holidays they had like free Paupers events, and I don't even remember if there was anything in particular when then, but right now it's Friday Night Magic at home, so as usual with Friday Night Magic at home events, we have like a couple of cards for the win. These will be rare cards or mythic rare cards, and just randoms out of what's currently in standard. And I might bring up something else later about that. But so basically, this is kind of combining the Pauper format and Friday Night Magic at home events, which is pretty cool. Now, the thing about Paupers is you can only play Paupers with commons. And oh wait, I think actually I need to actually change the deck I was going to use for that. I think it has a couple that I can't actually go with there because it just reminded me of basic lands, not non-basic lands. So therefore I need to pop out a couple of those and increase my remaining basics there. There we go. Okay. I forgot about the whole basic lands thing, because I had a couple of non-basic lands in there. But anyhow, it's basically limited to commons only, so you won't find anybody using anything legendary at all. So that goes for and against right there. Because anything legendary of any sort will always be at least uncommon. Unless they do something very weird in an upcoming set, but I wouldn't think that they would. That's just too wild, having the idea of a common legend. It goes against even the idea of a legend, you know? So I'm not thinking they're ever going to do that. So common only means no legends. So you won't have anything really powerful. You'll just kind of well, you can have something powerful that's a common. It just will usually be fairly expensive in terms of mana cost. So there's a trade when it comes to commons, when it comes to that. Of course, there's some really powerful stuff that's also expensive to play too, but it's like absurdly powerful. It's you know, whenever you have something really uncommon or rare, it tends to help with the mana curve. So let's start up here. Already, things are getting interesting. Okay, they're checking their... Well, apparently they had a terrible hand, and I had a hand that I considered decent, so that happened. I just... it's a lot funner whenever somebody nopes out Magic the Gathering than in other games, because there's the whole intimidation factor. But I hadn't played anything yet, so it's more like the, oh, I can't play this hand at all. I don't even know what a mulligan is. It's like, seriously? It makes it amusing when somebody nopes out to me in this game. Other games, not so much. Silent Submersible. You see, here's another thing. When it comes to, like, any of the events, they lie as to whether or not it's your first card. I swear, and I could show this. But when it comes to it being from a pack, it seems to be always accurate. It's like a weird quirk with the game, and I'm going to show that really fast, because I'm just going to go in my collection here. And that was... See, and the thing is, whenever you get new cards, it always puts it up first, regardless of, like, your collection. But see, that was the second one, but it said first. That's because these events, they put them together really fast, so they can't always be accurate to your collection. So that's just kind of a long-running bug in the game. I wouldn't say too long-running, because... Well, maybe. It's the way they've kind of changed some of the interface, so it might be long-running. Okay, let's see what we got here. I can start with that. I've got a Scorpion. Wait, they're considering that a basic land? I should... If I don't win this round, I am totally going to put those back in. Because it said basic lands in the description, but it's allowing that. So, that was clearly a lie. Okay, I'm gonna put in my non-basic lands whenever if I lose this round, because I'm only really making this deck. It's kind of a deck that's being adjusted as we go. It's funny, we have the same card in our deck. But yeah, the interesting thing is that I only really like play this style whenever... Okay. I'm gonna wait for a moment here. I only really play Paupers whenever they have events. It's something that they don't really do very often either. But they totally lied about the non-basic forbidden thing. I kind of... that was kind of weird. There seems to be a few quirks with these events, and or descriptions thereof. Yeah, I need to take a turn to make my drawbridge fly after a while. See if I can pop out that Cloud Conceer. No bites? Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, I totally need to switch. That was weird. It said in the description, only basic lands. Still a little upset about that. If I don't have anything interesting to cast otherwise, I'm equipping my drawbridge. now I have a flying drawbridge. Sky Castle. Okay. Let's see if they bite, because I have soul salvage, so I could resurrect them later. It's not quite. And I also have Forever Young. So I can return them back to the top. Okay, that helped. Lock on a Griffin. You know, it's actually kind of amusing how many common cards have flying. Already has flying. But they did it for the boost. So there goes my But yeah, I need the I need my my gain lands, as they call them. Oh, finally. A little bit of a shuffle there. See if I can take out a flyer. Nope, they're not buying it. They're not getting baited there. I know they have a lot of attack power on their flyers, and they're going to try to just sail over me. But now that I have 3 lands, see, that won't be quite enough. First strike would be good, but I'd be able to equip it up to make it first strike and flying either way. Irony is none of them are big enough for me to hit them with that. Still a flying squirrel wait in my way. Here comes another flying squirrel. I will take first strike, thank you. Okay, green pale heron. Occurring here. Yeah, this is Paupers after Ikoria. Oh, a little overdue. Thought to send a nice hello. After all, they are below their starting life, so why not? Hey, nailed that one. But I still have my scorpion. And they're still not letting it, they're not letting it get hit by it. About to have a first strike flying squirrel here. Okay, that's a bit much. But just the fact that I could start with my gain lands. Like, seriously? Why was that allowed? Because it said in the description, no non-basic lands. They weren't very accurate in their description. So I'm gonna have to change it again. And going back to the whole thing. Okay, let's pop this again with my Paupers. But yeah, this one I just keep changing whenever they have a Paupers match. Or Paupers Format, I should say. But one thing is that Ikoria actually has a pretty good number of non-basic lands in it. So it's kind of an easy way to actually get a hold of them. If you're after some of these gain lands, as they call them, which is ones where whenever they come to play, you gain a point of life. And these type of lands also have it where whenever they come into play, they do come into play tapped, but they provide you with choice of 2 different mana types. So it's kind of a odd little trade-off there. Now that I know that I can actually do that. I mean, the description said basic lands and commons. It didn't say you could have common if it was not a basic land. So they messed up. They messed up on that one. Okay, this is gonna get fascinating. See, there you go. There's your demo. Boink. You're not quite that bad. Oh, now I get my blind squirrel out of it. Nice. I'll take first strike for now. So that gets around the Moss Viper. Because the rule of Death Touch is it has to actually damage you. Oh, they're mutating with Migratory. Yeah, not yet. The thing about Beloved Princess is she has a special ability that's pretty nice. It's called, creatures with power 3 and above can't block her at all. Doesn't matter what her power is, it's up to them. That thing is gonna take something to get rid of. Well, guess it's a good time to get my Soulmender out. Could pump up her power a little bit. Maybe. I'll think about it. That thing's just gonna get tougher. But I do have some things to get rid of things with power 4. Not in my hand right now, mind you, but still waiting on it. Yeah, nothing I can do about that without having an issue. But, on the other hand, I can, however, I'll do that in a moment, actually. Okay, you get to fly. You get to fly. This Trusted Pegasus has a nice little boost ability. Oh well. Well, we all know that, or most of us play Magic the Gathering know that, blue is the color they invented to be annoying. Oddly enough, I think I'll put my Shining Armor down on this one. So I don't really need the Vigilance if there's nothing I can use to block without it dying. It's like, hello. You have to actually cause damage for that to be a problem. Also, now... Let's get thirsty. Time to go all out. I mean, they left an opening. That thing has hexproof, not... I mean, it had hexproof, not flying. Did they think I was just gonna nuke it or something? I mean, I could've, but I didn't have that card in my hand. Oh well. I won, and... Let's see what the second extra card is for the day. Now that, I think I probably didn't have before. Whenever Swamp enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. You draw a card and lose 1 life. Or Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target, you gain 2 life. Obviously the second option is more preferable under most circumstances, but if you were like super desperate for cards, then you could use the first. Because that's the way a lot of black plays when it comes to drawing cards, is you usually lose life when you do it. Although there are exceptions. But yeah, that was a decent Paupers run. Now let me just check and see if that really was my first of that. Oh yeah, that really was a first. It wasn't lying this time. Thank you for not lying about Dread Presence being my first. And it is a Nightmare, which actually comes into an interesting thing you can design decks around now because of the whole companion thing. I'll go into that in a moment. But, interesting, but I'm not gonna go for it right now, thank you. I mean, later I might do some stuff, but we'll see. Anyhow, there's just something that I think is just kind of missing. Right now, you don't have historic in anything other than a special event right now, and that's something I'm missing out on, because for a while they brought historic play in as a way of being able to use the things that they've rotated out of what's considered to be standard, which is mainly just the ones they're focusing on. It's not really so much it's like true standard of the game, it's just, you know, it's the style of whatever's like the last few sets. And right now it's mainly just in events, whether they're like just ones that are kind of like their usual, or they're part of like a major thing otherwise. It's like one of their events of the week or something. But they're kind of losing out there, because I really like using, and a lot of other players also like doing this, of using the full breadth of what you're capable of using, and seeing what you can combo from like all sorts of past sets. Now they don't have all sorts of past sets on Arena, mind you, but it's just something that I'm thinking of where a lot of these things would combo better from some previous sets that are just even included in Arena, actually. And I'm just thinking, I know that they might want to leave that out because some people like me are really good at doing that, and that would give us like an absurd advantage. Because I think in combos across all of what Magic the Gathering has available, and what all is available to me. Not everyone can do that. They're not necessarily capable of doing that. But that gives us, like, us old school players that can do that a very good advantage. And I can see that being, like, out of ranked. But why do we not have a historic play option? I mean, we have bot match, but that doesn't count against, like, your quests or anything. Why don't we have, and it's not ranked or anything, and and if it was possible to play this game offline, you'd be able to do it because you're just against the AI, so you're just going with Sparky. But why don't we have a historic play where you still go against random players, like with just playing, but you can also use like your historic cards and stuff, not ranked, just random, and also still counting towards like your quests and stuff, but otherwise just random, like no rank involved or anything. You just go up against another random player and just go all out with whatever it is you can combo with. And that's something that I'd really enjoy as a style, but I don't think who's in charge really realizes that that's what a lot of people would consider as fun. Maybe at some point they'll eventually figure it out, I don't know. But I think that's a pretty good compromise between those of us that are just really good in terms of thinking with combos and people who can't really comprehend that, where they can only comprehend like the recent stuff and they don't really look at the historical capable combos. You go back a few sets and you're like, oh yeah, that card used to exist, it would do great with this. A lot of people can't think in the past of Magic the Gathering like that. But I still think there's a good intermedium where you're not really like crushing noobs easily because you're one of these people that knows how to do that, and so it's not giving you like the unfair advantage in ranked of being actually good at the game. But at the same time, you still can do it when you want to against other players that might have similar capability for once, and then you can go and do it as historic play. I'd like that random option, thank you. I really would, of just going all out with what you got and it not mattering in any other way. Because as of right now, play is, and let me kind of give you a little thing here. Note that these have like marks against them. That's because a lot of these have historic cards. So play is not just play. It's play in standard but without the rank. So when it comes to like some of these, it's kind of disappointing that I can't really go with that. It's not that the cards in them are banned per se; they're just not considered part of the last few sets, and therefore not considered part of the standard. So it's just something I consider a little disappointing. So maybe at some point that'll happen. Oh, that reminds me. there was something I was going to show off. Part of my collection. It's not so much a... well, let me... I think these are the colors I need to search. But, yeah, it's not really so much a thing that's historic per se, but it kind of has to deal with it too, because there's certain things that they've kind of printed over time, and it means that you get more use out of them. So it's just something like that. Because it would be kind of good to kind of use this to say, well, I got all these that would qualify, so why not? And let's zip here for a moment. Yeah, I have a decently sized collection, and I haven't paid a cent. I am a quester, and even if I had a large amount of money, I don't think I'd use it except for very particular things. Admittedly, I would go for the Godzilla cards and pay to grab those. I would for the promotionals, but unfortunately, right now, I don't really have that kind of available moneyage, coinage. Yeah, that's the way they phrased it on Mario RPG. You're out of coinage. You don't have enough coinage. Yeah, that was the statement. Let me see. Did I zip? Nah, just coming into it. Okay. Yeah, and if you win one of these in a Brawlers Guild Hall, remember that these are specifically allowed to be your commander, even if they're not considered in standard. So if you've won one of those, just keep track of which ones you've won, or whenever you're creating a Brawl-style deck, it will show you the ones that qualify and include these in them automatically as a filter. So you might want to just kind of keep that in mind for later, but that's not the big thing I was going to show here. What I was going to show here is I got one of the other companions. I've got like half of them, and I haven't like even really thrown a wild card in their direction yet, which is interesting in and of itself. And it's something that I do like the idea of, so maybe it's just law of attraction attracting it to me, I don't know. But anyhow, her abilities and complement is interesting. Here are the Orphan card. Legendary creature, cat beast for 1 generic and 2 of green and or white. 3/2 vigilance. Companion selection. Each creature card in your deck, in your starting deck, in other words, remember, companions are outside your deck initially, if they're set as your companion. They can be in your deck otherwise, but if they're set as your companion, they're outside the deck initially, but the rule only has to follow the starting deck, the one that you're starting with. So if you pull cards from outside the game in any other way, it still doesn't affect that. So, thank you, Karn. But yeah, companion, each creature card in your starting deck is a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast card. And remember that one that kind of triggered this little statement was a nightmare. Literally, that was its creature subtype. So, it would qualify under that rule. And her complementary ability, the reason why this is her starting rule, is, at least I think it's her, I'm not sure. Kind of like I think Luris is, but I don't know, there's something I just got, I don't know what the lore is. I wish I did, because they haven't posted it yet. I can't know if it's not there yet, so please, MTG Salvation, fill in some dots for us here. But, yeah, each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. So as long as she's on the field, every qualifying creature is powered up and has vigilance. Well, buffed up, because additional power and toughness. So it's tougher and buffer. So, yeah. And might I add, if I wanted to play like serious, if I wanted to reroute my white-green deck, I have some serious options. Like a Johnny helping out would be just awesome. But yeah, her rule means that is a complimentary card to one of the companions I've received. So it is a serious thought. So yeah, I might go with that at some point and do a deck with Kahira. But for now, I think I'll be logging off for the time being. So, hope to hear from you all later. Uh, goodbye, everybody, and remember, MTG forever.